It's Monday, November 28th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. Coming off of a big week on the road for Turkey Bowl, we're back in studio with the latest local news, some local sports highlights with Frank Granito, and a look back on this day in history with Donald Ang. But first, a 21-year-old Ridgefield resident has been arrested for assaulting and attempting to murder a woman in a Ridgefield home the day before Thanksgiving. Ridgefield police say that Griffin Lavallo was arrested for assault in the third degree and criminal attempt to commit murder after he physically assaulted the victim, who the police did not identify in a release, and caused her to suffer injuries sustained from blunt force trauma. Officers gave the victim medical assistance and she was transported to Danbury Hospital, where she was released later that night. The department has not released where the incident took place or any additional information about the victim or the assault. Lavallo was held on a $1 million bond and was scheduled to appear in court last Friday. You can get updates on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. And a New Canaan resident, 57-year-old Mark Lynch, has been charged with manslaughter of his son after reportedly telling police that he gave heroin to his son, which police say resulted in the son's death. Lynch's son, Christopher Lynch, died back on September 25th from acute heroin intoxication while at the residence of his father at 2 Parade Hill Apartment A, according to police. Chris Lynch was 25 years old at the time. Police said that Mark made statements that he had provided heroin to Chris the night before and subsequently gave 4 folds of heroin to investigators on scene from the nightstand next to the bed that Chris was located on. Mark also indicated that Chris went to sleep around 8 p.m. on September 14th, and during the night he had checked on his son and heard gurgling noises as he was sleeping. Mark indicated that he went to sleep around 4 a.m. and upon waking up, he found Chris unresponsive and called police. The heroin turned over to police by Mark was also confirmed by the state of Connecticut Forensic Lab to be the controlled substance of heroin. You can get more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And in other news, last Tuesday, 2 men were robbed in Ansonia when trying to buy a cell phone they saw listed on the website Let Go. On November 22nd, around 8:30 in the evening, the Ansonia Police Department received a 911 call reporting a robbery on Rockwood Avenue and Granite Terrace. The victim told responding officers that he and a friend had gone to Rockwood Avenue to buy a cell phone that was listed on Let Go. The victims were approached by a white male who showed them a phone. Then a second male approached them, displayed a handgun, and took the victims' cell phones and cash. The victims fled in a dark-colored the suspects fled in a dark, small SUV. The robbery is similar to one that took place in Fairfield back on November 15th, police said. The Ansonia Police Department also suggests that when setting up places to meet for the purposes of completing a transaction, you should pick a public place. They also encourage anyone who's going to meet in Ansonia to do so at the police department lobby to complete any of those kinds of transactions. And 2 men were arrested for the theft of cooking oil from Lethos Restaurant in Darian on November 18th. The owner of the restaurant contacted police around 6:50 that morning to report a suspicious vehicle stealing the oil from a waste dumpster in the back of the building. Employees of the restaurant had told the owner that the container had not been filling up properly, and surveillance footage showed a dark van parking near the rear of the building on several occasions during the overnight hours. When police arrived, they stopped 2 men near the vehicle, and the owner told the officers that he had seen a hose going from the container to the van. They were then identified as 30-year-old Washington Campos and 31-year-old Juan Nunez of Bronx, New York. They told police they had not taken any oil from the container and that they had only intended to see if it was full before asking the owner if they could take some of it. Police said Campos had an oily substance on his shoes and there was oil on the ground as well. A background check also showed that Nunez had been arrested earlier this year for stealing oil in Monroe, New York. Inside of the van, there were several large containers seemingly meant for carrying several hundred gallons of the material. More on that story at DarianTimes.com. And Connecticut State Police arrested a man over the weekend who they say was driving 123 miles per hour with children in the car. Police say that 41-year-old Ricardo Torres of Terryville was driving 123 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone on I-84 westbound. Upon stopping the car, police say there was an adult in the passenger seat and 3 children in the back, ages 5, 9, and 12. They were not injured. Torres, however, was charged with reckless driving and endangerment, as well as 3 counts of risk of injury to a minor. And election fever continues. That was the news out of Hartford last week when Secretary of State Denise Merrill, joined by fifth grade students from the Glastonbury East Hartford Elementary Magnet School, announced she was randomly selecting voting precincts to have primary results audited following the November 8th presidential election. Ridgefield's Yanity Gym and Eastridge Middle School were among 38 polling stations across the state that were selected. The offices subject to the audit are President, Vice President, U.S. Senate, and Representative in Congress. According to state statutes, 5% of polling places that use optical scan machines are subject to the audit. You can get more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. But let's throw it over to Frank Ernito. Happy to be back in studio. Frank, we'll look at the forecast.
Yes, and we had a great Thanksgiving weekend, absolutely beautiful outside, and we're hoping to have at least one more day of nice weather with sunshine early on today and temperatures reaching up into the low 50s. Increasing cloud cover this afternoon with temperatures falling back down towards the mid 40s, and it will continue to be mostly cloudy overnight with milder conditions before a rain-filled Tuesday. Wet and windy for most of the day tomorrow, wind gusts reaching up as high as 15 miles per hour throughout the afternoon, along with rain showers and temperatures in the high 50s again. Showers should pass through the county by tomorrow evening as we get set for the first round of the state quarterfinals in the football playoffs. And Wednesday will be mostly cloudy again with on and off showers increasing through the day. There is an expected high of 58 degrees, and we'll see a lighter breeze in the afternoon that may reach 10 miles per hour. Scattered morning showers will turn into a steady rain for the afternoon, but that should die down by midnight as we will head towards the end of the week, which should feature some more sunshine. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Ang takes a look back on this day in history. Frank has some Turkey Bowl highlights, and we have some more local news coming up after this.
At Hoyt Livery, our goal is to always... Sam, what are you doing? We're filming a commercial.
I'm checking out the new Hoyt on the Go app. Hoyt's here!
What makes Darian special during the holiday season? Locally owned shops and restaurants where you can find everything you need to make your holidays more enjoyable. Start with breakfast, then shop for everything from toys to unique gifts and the latest trends in fashion. Take a coffee break. Stop at our farmers market or one of our shops where you'll find an amazing selection of cheeses and meats. Then enjoy dining at one of our fabulous restaurants. This holiday season, experience shopping and dining in Darian.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan, and you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Why cook it all this holiday? Avoid the stress of holiday planning and let your friends at Walter Stewart's in New Canaan do the heavy lifting. Whether you're looking to fill in with a few crowd-pleasing sides or you want us to prepare your whole feast, from cranberry sauce to pumpkin pie, we're ready to simplify your holiday. Place your order from our holiday menu and spend your holiday the right way, relaxing. Our fresh prepared holiday meals to go are designed with your busy schedule in mind. Visit us at stewartsmarket.com or at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Discover a world of wellness in the heart of New Canaan. Halo Studios, New Canaan's first collaborative wellness center, offers you the freedom to choose from the best and latest health, fitness, and wellness options. Inside Halo Studios, you'll find all the wellness experts you need at places like Halo Fitness, Priority Wellness, and Sama Yoga Center. Come by for a free wellness assessment, open 7 days a week at 45 Grove Street. For more information, visit halostudios.com or call 203-594-9909.
We're back on this November 28th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Happy to have Donald Ang back in studio with us to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
Huh? I think it was history last time we did one of these in studio, but it was the beginning of a 30-year controversy today. But first, though, we're going to go to 1520. More than a year after departing from Spain with 5 ships, Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan rounds South America with 3 ships through the strait that now bears his name. Expecting to sight the Spice Islands, he instead encounters another ocean, this one so eerily calm that he calls it Pacifica, meaning placid. The expedition would not sight land again until reaching modern-day Guam 99 days later. Speaking of long-distance voyages, to 1895 we go. The first American car race takes place 54 miles from Chicago's Jackson Park to Evanston, Illinois. Frank Duryea wins in approximately 10 hours in a car he and his brother had built. The win made the Duryea Car Company the most successful car company to date. The company sold 13 vehicles the following year. 1942 in Boston, a fire at the Coconut Grove nightclub kills 492 people. That is 32 more than the club's listed capacity. It started when a sailor on leave unscrewed a light bulb in a side room to give himself and his date a little more privacy. A busboy came in to replace the bulb and lit a match to help himself see. Just a week earlier, the club had been inspected by the fire department and given a good rating. Changes to the fire code after the disaster included mandates that there be at least 2 exits from public areas. The exits must be remote from each other, clearly marked and unobstructed, and that revolving doors must also be accompanied by outward opening emergency doors. Finally, now we go to 1987 for the beginning of this.
Here are the developments in the Tawana Brawley case in brief. The grand jury report says there's no evidence to support the story that Tawana was abducted and raped last November. New York Attorney General Robert Abrams says that point by point the story is not true and that the Brawley advisors have jeopardized the rights of future victims of racial assaults. Tawana Brawley and her family have not been heard from and no one is certain where she is. Reverend Al Sharpton and other advisors have reacted strongly to Abrams, attacking him as a racist and not caring about black victims. There is other reaction on the grand...
The end of the criminal case, which began today in 1987 when Brawley was found disheveled in a trash bag and claimed to have been sexually assaulted over 4 days by a group of white men, including at least 1 police officer. Brawley's handlers later accused Assistant DA Stephen Pagonis of participating in the attack. Pagonis filed defamation suits against Brawley and Al Sharpton, who settled in 1998. Brawley, now in her 40s and working as a nurse in Virginia, has been paying Pagonis $627 a month since 2013 toward a $500,000 verdict. Pagonis has said he would forgive the debt in exchange for a public apology and admission that he was falsely accused. That is your look back in history for today, November 28th, and I'm Donald Ng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, back to local news. Handy Seafood Incorporated is voluntarily recalling about 71 cases of blue crab mini crab cakes for undeclared milk byproducts and anchovies, which can cause severe reactions in those with allergies. Hearst Connecticut Media reports that the offending crab cakes were distributed to Whole Foods stores in 5 states, including Connecticut, between November 11th and November 23rd. Whole Foods has confirmed that less than 60 individual trays of the product have been sold to the public. The voluntary recall is being made because of Handy's discovery during a routine review of its recipe that the product contains milk byproducts and anchovies, which are known allergens but which are not declared on the label. There have been no confirmed reports of illnesses or reaction due to consumption of the product, but it should be returned to the store where it was purchased for a refund, or you can contact Handy directly for a refund if the product has been thrown away. But let's throw it back over to Frank for a Nutmeg Sports update. Frank, still coming down off the high of last week. It's busy.
What a game it was on Thanksgiving between the number 1 and 2 teams in the state. Meeting is undefeated teams for the 3rd season in a row. The Darian Blue Wave and New Canaan Rams put on a show that exceeded all expectations created over the 10-day wait. After jumping out to a 34-10 lead, the Darian Blue Wave saw the 24-point difference dissipate over the final 13 minutes of play as the Rams climbed all the way back to force overtime after Ryan O'Connell scored with less than 20 seconds remaining in regulation. In the end, though, it was a Riley Stewart field goal and a Finley Collins interception that capped off a 5th consecutive Turkey Bowl win for the Blue Wave, who defeated their rival New Canaan 37-34. Let's take a look at the highlights from Thanksgiving.
Ball at midfield. Trips at the top of the screen. It's a draw play for Collins with a big hole and plenty of room to run. Collins off to the races to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Darian. The Waves strike first.
First touch for Collins in the game. We thought he would be an X factor coming in.
Wildcat formation. They've got 2 tight ends into the game. Grant in motion. Green fakes to Collins, keeps it himself, heading for the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Darian. It is 13-0 with 5:30 remaining in the first.
Very emotional after that. You saw a little scrum between Darian and New Canaan players. We got cleared up there.
And Braden's racing down the sideline now. Braden being chased by Herget, diving for his ankles, staying on his feet to the 5. Touchdown, New Canaan.
That was just what the doctor ordered from New Canaan. Great job staying in bounds there by Braden. Hit the hole hard.
They're going to throw with Peters here. They wanted Collins over the middle. Now going to take a shot. Apelt was stumbling, and all alone is Grant. Shoves a man to the ground. Grant off to the races. 10-5, touchdown, Darian.
Or they can come back with a 65-yard touchdown of their own and get right back in the lead by double digits if they can knock down this extra point. Great throw by Peters there. Apelt unfortunately slipped and was unable to make the tackle for the New Canaan Rams.
Collins in the shotgun position, running behind his blockers, heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Darian. He's in, and it's a 16-point Wave lead.
It's his 8th rushing touchdown of the year.
3rd and 6 from their own 22. Pine looking to the left side. Wants a man on the wheel. He is hit. Lost the football. It's loose. Scooped up into the end zone. Touchdown, Darian. Horde Fox with the fumble recovery for a score. And the only thing that couldn't go wrong for the Rams just did. Looking to his left, tries to fling one outside. He's got O'Connell. O'Connell makes a man miss to the end zone. Touchdown, Rams.
And there's Quentin O'Connell. We talked about him. His 7th receiving touchdown of the season. He finally gets on the board today. It's probably the longest we've been in a game where the O'Connells are playing with neither of them in the end zone.
Spencer Williams takes the snap. He's heading for the end zone. Is he in? Touchdown, New Canaan. And we're an extra point away from this being a 7-point game. Mike, what a drive.
Absolutely great drive. Great play calling.
They're quick to line up. Williams in the gun. They give inside to O'Connell. He got it. Is he going to get in? Is he short? Touchdown, New Canaan.
Wow. He just got in on that second effort. Looked like a little trouble handing the ball off, but the Rams get in the end zone. We're an extra point away from overtime, Frank. We knew New Canaan Darian couldn't end up being a blowout. These games are always a classic.
Minikis to hold. The snap, the kick is up. And it is good. So Darian able to convert. They take a 3-point lead. It's not what you want, but no matter what, Mike, you have to get on the board in that first possession. Pine's got O'Connell and Braden in the backfield. They trail by 3, 1st and goal. O'Connell motions to the left. They fake the screen. They're coming back for Braden. It's intercepted. Finley Collins has got it, and the Darian Blue Wave have won the Turkey Bowl.
They set up the screen, and Finley Collins read it well. We've seen him come close to picking off a few balls today. Got to be devastating for the Rams players. They thought they had a great chance there. Great play by Finley Collins, and he's showing all day why he's one of the best players in the FCAC.
The fans storm the field. The Wave, for a 5th consecutive season, have won on Thanksgiving.
So congratulations again to the Darian Blue Wave. With the win, the Wave, now 10-0, have secured home field advantage through the Double L State Tournament, starting with tomorrow's quarterfinal match against the 8th-seeded Greenwich Cardinals. Now, that game will be played at Boyle Stadium and can be seen live on the HAN network. Also in the Double L tournament from the FCAC are the 7th-seeded Richfield Tigers, who will travel up to West Haven tomorrow to take on the undefeated Blue Devils at 6:30. In Class L, New Canaan earned the number 2 seed after a 9-1 regular season. They will host Massac tomorrow evening in the quarterfinals with the potential of playing a home state semifinal game on Monday next week. And St. Joe's in Class M dropped to number 5 after losing to Trumbull on Thanksgiving. The Cadets will travel on the road to play Wolcott in their quarterfinal matchup. But for more on the state tournament and for the Turkey Bowl from last Thursday, tune into Nutmeg Sports this afternoon at 2 o'clock with Kevin Coleman and John Kovach and myself. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. And later in the show, we will have a fan's reaction to some of that game, which is just awesome. But getting back to more local news, a super Walmart scheduled to arrive in Monroe in early 2017 has left many local businesses and residents unsettled about the shakeup of the local economy. Lee Hostler of the Chamber of Commerce said the overall sentiment he's perceived from the public is that the community, for the most part, rejects that there's going to be a Walmart. He said that Walmart doesn't have the best reputation in Monroe. He also said the general public has an unfavorable feeling about Walmart coming into town, and they're concerned about some of the businesses that they deal with maybe going out of business. Hostler said impacts on local businesses like Benedict's Home and Garden Store, in business since the 1950s, remains to be seen. However, Pat O'Hara, a Monroe Planning and Zoning Commissioner, said that Walmart can be very beneficial to local residents. He said his understanding is that the tax revenue is close to $700,000 per year. He also said it would bring in an estimated 300 jobs, but there's a lot more on that story at MonroeCourier.com. And in Milford, the elections weren't quite over on November 8th as more than 4,400 fifth grade students across the state went to the polls the week following the presidential election to elect their own Connecticut's kid governor. On Wednesday, November 23rd, Jessica Broxham, a fifth grade student at John F. Kennedy Elementary, learned that she had won the statewide election and would be serving as Connecticut's kid governor for the 2017 season. As part of her duties, Jessica will make appearances throughout the state, will contribute to a Connecticut Kid Governor blog, and will fulfill speaking engagements based on her platform issue, which is the humane treatment of animals. The Milford Mirror talked with Jessica recently. Check it out.
Make a fundraiser so they can help the animals that have been abused in the animal shelters. I want people to be able to help them. Second, I want to make a presentation to educate all the kids around the state so they know what can happen if they do it and why it's such a bad thing. And third, I want to work with government officials about making tougher laws and fines for doing animal cruelty.
All right, thanks so much to Jill Dion of the Milford Mirror for that. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today, and we also have some great fan reaction of last week's Turkey Bowl game coming up on your coffee break after this.
This is now 44 years I've been in this business. Digital came along. After I was in business for about 6 years, I had to totally reinvent the business. So I had to make a tremendous investment in my business. And Milford Bank was there for me. I don't really just consider Milford Bank a bank. I consider them a trusted partner in my business. My name is Jim Wilson, owner of Milford Photo. I choose to bank with Milford Bank.
Want to reach new heights in your fitness and health goals? Find what you're looking for at Elevation Spin, Train, and TRX in Georgetown, Connecticut. Elevation Spin gives you purposeful spinning workouts inspired by the road. We encourage monitoring of heart rate and energy zones. Elevation also offers customized personal training with dedicated professionals passionate about helping you reach your goals. And let us motivate you to reach greater performance and functionality with TRX suspension training, using your own body weight for an incredible dynamic workout. Located at 4 Old Mill Road in Georgetown, call Elevation at 203-544-9503 or visit ElevationSpinTrainTRX.com for more.
Manfredi New Canaan is a dream come true for locals Kim and Roberto. Their Elm Street store features Rolex, Hermes, and design jewelry collections from everyday classic gold to diamond jewelry. Manfredi offers a range of services from simple jewelry and watch repair to elegant jewelry design. Let Manfredi New Canaan help you find the perfect gift to celebrate important life moments. Visit us at 72 Elm Street, New Canaan, or online at manfredijewels.com.
The holidays are a wonderful time to spend with families and friends, sharing a fantastic meal. Football season is in full swing, the fishing has been unbelievable, and it's time to make a list and check it twice. Stop at the Dock Shop, get a fix of summer, and browse loads of new products, including fishing tackle, accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darian, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or dockshop.com.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Monday edition of Your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories that we're following today, including that a 21-year-old Ridgefield resident was arrested for assaulting and attempting to murder a woman in a Ridgefield home the day before Thanksgiving. Ridgefield police said Griffin Lavallo was arrested for assault in the first degree and criminal attempt to commit murder after he physically assaulted the victim, who police did not identify, and caused her to suffer injuries sustained from blunt force trauma. Officers gave the victim medical assistance, and she was transported to Danbury Hospital, where she was released later that night. The department has not released where the incident took place or any additional information about the assault. Lavallo was held on a $1 million bond and was scheduled to be arraigned in court last Friday. And a New Canaan resident, 57-year-old Mark Lynch, has been charged with manslaughter of his son after reportedly telling police that he gave heroin to his son, which police say resulted in the son's death. Lynch's son, Christopher Lynch, died on September 25th from acute heroin intoxication while at the home of his father at 2 Parade Hill. Chris Lynch was 25 years old at the time. Police said that Mark made statements that he provided heroin to Chris the night before and subsequently gave 4 folds of heroin to investigators on scene from the nightstand next to the bed that Chris was located on. You can get more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And in other news, last Tuesday, 2 men were robbed in Ansonia when trying to buy a cell phone they saw listed on the website Let Go. On November 22nd at about 8:30 in the evening, the Ansonia Police Department received a 911 call reporting a robbery on Rockwood Avenue and Granite Terrace. The victim told responding officers that he and a friend had gone there to buy a cell phone that was listed on Let Go. The victims were approached by a white male who showed them a phone. Then a second male approached them, displayed a handgun, and took the victim's cell phones and cash. The suspects fled in a dark-colored small SUV, and police say the robbery is similar to one that took place in Fairfield on November 15th. Ansonia police suggest that anyone who is involved in those kind of transactions plan to meet in a public place, and if they're in Ansonia, to meet in the police department lobby to be safe. And finally, it was an intense Turkey Bowl game between New Canaan and Darian last Thursday. You can watch the joy, anguish, and love of a good game as longtime Darian Blue Wave fan Al Garnett watches our broadcast of overtime in the 2016 Turkey Bowl as recorded by his son Sandy Garnett on Thanksgiving. Check it out.
Block it.
Let's go over to the Darian sideline, see what it is.
The metal. Come on, bad snap. The black metal tags in there, those
Come
are
on.
new.
Awesome. Yes, I see.
And good. All tied up.
I can't believe Finley Collins. Wow. What a freaking game.
Gotta be devastating.
Just very cool. Let's throw it back to Frank Reno for one final look at the forecast, Frank, and I know you enjoy that reaction to your call.
It was a lot of fun, and again, congratulations to both teams, winners and losers. It was such a great day for us to get to be a part of. But looking at the weather, again, we had a great Thanksgiving weekend of weather. We should see one more day with sunny skies today, temperatures in the low 50s. We'll see some cloud cover later on this afternoon and overnight as we get set for a couple of rainy days, starting with Tuesday. Wet and windy most of the day, wind gusts of 15 miles per hour, rain showers all day long, temperatures in the mid-50s. Showers should stop, though, for the football games tomorrow night as the state quarterfinals get underway, but they are right back with us on Wednesday. We'll see some on and off showers in the morning, steady rain in the afternoon, but that should all clear out by midnight, and we should see some sunshine before the end of the week again.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break at 12:30. HAN Arts and Leisure coming up. They have some special guests from the Connecticut Beardsley Zoo. 2 o'clock, Nutmeg Sports, and we'll see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Have a great day.